Robbery suspects have been killed in Alberton in a shootout with police. Gauteng Provincial Commissioner Lt-Gen Tommy Mthombeni is expected to address the media at the scene. But for the latest on that story, we now cross live to our reporter, Linda Mnisi. Linda, good to catch up with you this morning. We know you've just arrived at the scene. What have you been able to skim at the moment from what's transpired?
Well, indeed, Hugo, the news that we're getting as we arrived at the scene is that behind me, that vehicle that you see there that's overturned on the R59 here in Alberton has 4 occupants, and those are the suspected robbers who, according to the police, entered into a shootout with the police, resulting in their passing. They're still trapped, Hugo, from what we're getting. They're still trapped inside that vehicle, all 4 of them, and but what we know so far is that all of them have been declared dead. It's unclear what the circumstances were at this point, and perhaps all of that information will be at a later stage be elaborated by the provincial commissioner, who is, like you said, on his way to this particular scene. But we see that the vehicle is overturned, and already some members of the forensic pathologists have already started with scouring through the crime scene, looking at the scene as well. We know that scenes like these, where police are involved in a shootout and the death of other people, also includes the investigations by IPID, and that will perhaps happen at a later stage. But this is a major road, the R59, as you may know. It leads to a number of areas, including Johannesburg, but also when you go towards a different side of Alberton, the lines of Sky City, that road also leads to that. It's completely closed off, cordoned off. I'm going to ask my colleague Kay Vilagazi to just show you on the side some of the medical emergency teams that are also on site, who have parked on the side of the road, ensuring that, of course, they did their work prior to the investigators getting to the scene to try and assess and comb through the scene about what exactly could have possibly happened. But you see there also on your screens the forensic pathologists. They are, crime scene investigators as well, who are taking pictures, who are placing cones at particular areas, the cones that you see on the ground. We've been asked to stand at a distance because you'll remember this is still a crime scene, and our movements should not mess up with the crime scene and the evidence that they are trying to lift from this particular scene. But of course, like I indicated earlier on, Hugo, this is a major road, and that means all the roads that are or rather all the vehicles that are going towards the north side of Johannesburg will of course be redirected. You see many of them on the bridge from across where we're standing, but all the way to the south of Alberton, you see traffic is still open. The police making sure that traffic still flows. But at this point, details are still sketchy really about what could have possibly transpired at the scene. But from what we know, police received a tip-off about a robbery that was about to happen involving the alleged or the suspected robbers that have since lost their lives in that shootout. And of course, it's as a result of also the engagements or the collaboration between the private securities as well as the SAPS yielding these results. We know that they've already indicated, Hugo, that during the festive season, what they're going to be doing is working together with the police working together with the private security to ensure that they clamp down on crime. And we're told that this operation that you see behind me is a result of those operations that the police said, or those engagements and those collaborations that the police said they would engage in. So far, we're waiting for the police commissioner who will give us a detailed report about this work that they've done, about the suspected robbery, and where exactly it was going to happen. But so far, you see members of the EMPD, that's the Ekurhuleni Metro Police, as well as the SAPS Emergency Medical Services, and perhaps what is believed to be forensic investigators, crime scene investigators, lifting from the scene itself. I want to show you also this two choppers that have also landed at this particular scene. And, at the moment, it's unclear when exactly the provincial commissioner will arrive. So we await the arrival of the provincial commissioner, who will then give us more details, really, about what could have possibly happened here. Hugo?
Linda, obviously multiple questions to be asked around this crime scene at the moment. Some questions, some answers you may not have, but certainly we'd like to ask a few questions and just get some insight into how much you know. Now, the first question is we've seen a few police bikers. Did the police, from what you understand, chase this vehicle down? Was there an exchange in shooting between the alleged perpetrators and the police themselves? Because what is clear from where you are is that this vehicle overturned somehow. Was this overturn a result of driver failure? Was it a case of the alleged perpetrators being shot and then resulting in the vehicle overturned? Just how much do we know at this point?
Well, those are details, Hugo, that will be shared by the provincial commissioner when he arrives. I just want to run you through the scene. My colleague Kay Vilagazi will just go handheld there to give you perhaps a sense of what it looks like. And from what we can see, obviously, this does not for a fact or confirm what may have possibly happened. But you see, like I indicated earlier on, the cones that are on the floor. They're an indication of perhaps how far the crime scene goes. At this point, we have not been shown which vehicle or police vehicle was involved in this particular shootout for us to be able to determine exactly, what may have been the circumstances leading to this shootout. But from what we're told is that these suspected robbers entered into a shootout with the police, and this led to the overturning of the vehicle that you see on the side. On the road, on the R59. And essentially, that's the little information that police have shared at this particular moment. Of course, the officers would not be, or rather the officers would not be able to, come on camera and speak really about what could have possibly happened, because of course those lines of communication clearly have to be distinguished. But of course, this is a major road, like I indicated, Hugo. An operation of this magnitude would really affect traffic, and I know it is still, it is the weekend and people are just going about their business. But of course, an operation like this, looking at, of course, how big it is and what it has really caused. You see the traffic on the side of the road. So anybody planning to travel to the R59, be it south or north, they, of course, are advised to, choose alternative routes, because at this point you see trucks on the road, you see cars on the road, traffic is moving, but quite slowly really, because on this side of the road these are usually onlookers who would want to see exactly what could have possibly happened. But the road on the other side completely closed off. You see the chopper that landed just before we came to you earlier on. That chopper, of course, also blocking that side of the road. But on the other side, you see that police have also made sure that there are no vehicles that may attempt or want to come back to the side to perhaps get a glimpse of what could have possibly happened. So police stand on the sides waiting for investigators who are at the scene to get through it, to go through it and try to establish exactly the leads in trying to, of course, close this case. Police are involved here, so like I said earlier on, we're expecting that IPID will also be involved. I mean, a number of shooting, of course, are quite a concern at this particular point due to the rate at which they've been happening. You see there another chopper taking off as you and I are speaking, Hugo, about what could have happened here and the work that really the police are engaging in trying to establish some of the facts and some of the possible scenarios about what could have happened in this incident. And one of the critical things really that we're hoping the provincial commissioner is going to give us an indication on is which businesses or which business was going to be robbed. And are they specifically targeting those businesses? We know we're closer to the festive season, and of course, there will be a rise, like we always see every other year, a rise in these kinds of incidents that could possibly lead to such operations. So police have indicated earlier on that they need to be all hands on deck, but also collaborating with private security companies to try and nab the suspects who may attempt to rob businesses or attempt to commit any crime during this festive season. But also, like I indicated earlier on, the shootouts between suspected criminals and police is some of the things that has been a big talking point this year, particularly when you look at KwaZulu-Natal and what has been happening over the past couple of months there. Police also there in that particular province saying that they are engaged in shootouts with suspected criminals who usually open a fire first. So in this particular incident, one of the things that we're going to try to establish is the circumstances that led to the shootout and perhaps some of the options that the police had to contend with when looking at what was happening at that particular time. So when the provincial commissioner arrives, Hugo, he's going to be getting into all those details that surround this particular incident. But of course, there's also still that task of getting the bodies out. All of them are still trapped inside that vehicle. But the officials who are here at the crime scene are telling us that all of them have since been declared dead.
Linda Mnisi, appreciate your time. That's where we'll leave that report. Breaking news, as you would have heard, 4 robbery suspects shot and killed by police on the R59 in Alberton.